Now they're saying, oh, you don't want to protect those that are in harm's way. You want to make this about money. You want to make this about jobs. You want to make this about finance. That's not what this is about. This is about human lives. Well, you're right, it is. And you cannot allow the media to spin this any longer as though the lockdown does not claim life. And guess what? The UN has just come out with a report. This was in Reuters. This is really scary. UN warns economic downturn could kill hundreds of thousands of children in 2020. The United Nations said an estimated 42 million to 66 million children could fall into extreme poverty as a result of the coronavirus crisis this year, adding to the estimated 386 million children already in extreme poverty in 2019. It goes on to say, but the UN report warned that economic hardship experienced by families as a result of the global economic downturn could result in hundreds of thousands of additional child deaths in 2020, reversing the last 2 to 3 years of progress in reducing infant mortality within a single year. You may think the UN is just talking about Africa, is just talking about India or places like that, but we are seeing in our own reports here in America, this has a death toll. It's getting dangerous. Here is what you've been seeing about poverty and the ability for people to feed themselves here in the United States of America.
The other painful reality from the pandemic, hunger.
The financial fallout from the pandemic crisis is triggering a hunger crisis.
With millions of Americans still waiting for those stimulus checks and 10% of Americans out of a job in 3 weeks, long lines for food becoming a new normal.
Families across the country are just trying to figure out how to put dinner on the table.
Lines are stretching for miles in state after state.
Food banks in disaster mode.
Thousands have been forced to wait for hours in long lines.
Many who have never had to line up for food donations before.
Thousands of people lined up for hours to get help from a food bank in Texas.
The San Antonio Food Bank faced a line of 10,000 cars in one day.
7,200 pounds of food was given away from the Chicago Food Depository, and it went fast.
Just so striking to see one woman waiting 18 hours to get food in the United States of America.
You would think you're back in the 1920s or 30s during the era of the Great Depression.
It's been heartbreaking to see the need go up so much.
I want to be clear to those people out there like Lady Gaga or Oprah Winfrey or Matthew McConaughey, who is voicing commercials or singing on stages saying, you're a hero, stay in your basement, stay locked down, we need to wait for a vaccine. That attitude is going to get hundreds of thousands of innocent children killed this year, according to UN numbers. Every decent mathematician and global economic advisor is saying there is going to be massive casualties way outside of what the flu had ever dreamt of. And that's what we are now talking about. It is in. We may have attacked Donald Trump months ago when he said this appears to just be a flu. Maybe he got lucky. Maybe he didn't. But whatever the case, now we are seeing reports all around the world. Sweden now in the downturn. No higher death rate, and they never locked anyone down. We have proof from USC, Stanford, private groups, all reporting the same thing. This has the death rate of a flu season. Are we going to go another day and get people killed, make more jobs be lost every single day? We wait now for Deborah Birx to get up the gumption and for Anthony Fauci to get up enough energy to apologize to us, which is really all they should do. Just come out and say, sorry, we made a mistake, and we do not. The only problem with a mistake is one you don't admit and you continue to make. They have pride. We all have pride. And I think we all have to be honest with each other right now. Whether or not you're someone that has been watching the high wire and has been understanding these numbers from the very beginning and having issues with how it just hasn't been adding up, but you still lock yourself down. Or if you're one of these people that keeps tuning in the mainstream media as they spin this and polish this and try and hold on to this ridiculous story, and you think you really hate Donald Trump, we need to all take the politics away from this. Facts are facts. Universities are coming to the conclusions. More and more science is showing us that the death rate is about 0.1 to 0.2 or 3%. It is clear that is not a reason to destroy another single inch of this economy. But here's what we have to do. We've got to wake up, our friends. We all have to wake up. And it's going to be embarrassing, right? For those of us that were wearing the masks and the gloves and looked like Howard Hughes as we went out the door. For those of us that were taking pictures of our neighbors because we were told that's what we were supposed to do. We're going to have to all forgive each other. It was a panic. It was a mistake. The media drove us into it. Maybe everybody meant well, but it was a serious calamity. It was an accident. We have to forgive each other. We have to recognize that what happened in the quarantine stays in the quarantine. But let's be honest, this really does look like another average flu season, maybe a bad flu season, but destroying the economy of the world and certainly the nation we live in here, United States of America, but for those of you in Australia and Poland and the UK and all around the world that are coming to the same conclusion. Let's wake up. Let's send this information to our governors and our leaders and say it's time to open up. We forgive you. We forgive you for caring and making the mistake. We forgive you for overreacting. I forgive you for taking pictures of me when I was out walking with my dog. We were pushed to the limit. We were scared. But we are not scared any longer because we have the truth. The truth that the high wire has been invested in from the beginning, that you have been watching here and joining us with. The Informed Consent Action Network that makes all this possible. That network is you. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for your contribution. Now get out there. Tell your friends and family and representatives the truth. We forgive you. Now let's open up and be real heroes and get back to work. If you like that clip, then be sure to check out our live broadcast of The High Wire every Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific Time. You can watch it on Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, and Twitter. We'll see you there.